Greetings and welcome to another excellent chess position video. This was from a blitz game I played, and I posted this screenshot on Facebook. So I came here to show you the sequence of what happened. Like, what is the best move? Now, I asked over there, post your analysis for the best move, and I'm going to show you what I did. So if you want to work on this before you proceed any further, pause the video, and I'll be back in 3, 2, 1. All right. For those of you who wondered, you recognize it, but you're not quite strong enough to do this in your own games yet. Is this the Greek gift sacrifice? Yes, it is. And for those of you who know what that is, great. Let me explain it to those people who may not be knowledgeable. The Greek gift sacrifice now usually comes from double king pawn openings or not double king pawn, but king pawn openings like the French defense, for example. Sometimes it could come from the Sicilian defense, closed Sicilian. But that's where you have this bishop. Now, normally in a French defense, it would be on d3, and you would play bishop takes h7, and now the queen is usually going to be on d1, all right? And in many cases, the knight will not be advanced. It will be on f3, and you'll have to move to g5, for example, because this pawn is not here. But this position is uniquely different than, say, a French defense, but the tactic, the elements of the tactic are here. Queen's access to h5. Bishop rips pawn check. Knight went away. You know, I booted the knight. What he did here, he played a5, which is a very bad move. It's not obviously horrible. Even to the Stockfish, it doesn't see this as obviously horrible. Well, now, Stockfish could realize that you could play knight to e4 after g5. He goes backwards. And when the knight goes backward, and that is the tendency for a human player to go knight d7 or knight to e8. Okay? He probably should play knight to e4 and try to clog this up, because the bishop ripping the pawn is almost indefensible by a human. I couldn't even find any moves better for him. But in a blitz game, you can forget about it. You can forget about it. All right, he goes back here. At this point, the bar is going through the roof. So, yes, we rip him. And I actually looked at this for 25 seconds. I had like 2 minutes, 37 seconds, and now it's 2:12 when I play it. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing the quickie calculations. I go, it's bishop takes. This is what you have to calculate. Bishop takes, king takes, queen h5, check. Doing this in visualization, all right? King to g8, and then rook to f3, threatening rook to h3. Can you stop this mate? And I couldn't find a solution for him. And in the end, I played bishop takes h7 check. It's just crushing. You see the bar is ridiculous. Now, of course, in the game, you don't have a bar. The bar has to be inside your head to the best of your ability, okay? This part is fairly straightforward. These are forced moves. There's nothing he could do. Now, as my dad would say, find the blunder and don't play it. g6, he's going to come in and play knight to f6 and return this knight to its awesome defensive square, all right? So you don't want to do that. My calculations were, look, I've got the free ride of the rook. I'm going to go rook h3. You are in major league trouble. Now, maybe he's got a shot with f5. I hadn't looked at f5 as a defense. Everything else just gets annihilated. What did he do? He played g6, and that's just, well, look, now the computer says it's mate at 4. I'm like, come on, bro. Actually, I could go, 1, 2 here. Queen h6, and then I'm just going to play queen h3 and checkmate him. I don't see another move for him. But I said, you know what? This is a no-brainer. I'm going to go and rip this guy's position to shreds. Knight captures on g6. Just a destruction sacrifice. He can't take it because queen takes pawn, check, and then rook to h3 is a checkmate. That's a ladder checkmate, all right? So what are you going to do, Bobby Fischer, is what my dad would say here. Now my dad, like I said, my dad never quite made it to 1600. And this is a position that he would have looked at, he would have been reticent to play knight takes g6. It's not clear. So this is one of those things that if it was his game, he'd have showed me the position and I would have said, let's look at the boom, 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 boom. And then he was like, most likely my dad would not have played this. And then he would have said, darn, I knew I had something, but that's just the thing. Okay, but anyway, and if this was my game, my dad, once he saw this position, would have been standing there at the tournament watching to see what the guy does so that he could see, how I finish him off. Okay, he plays f5. I mean, everything he does just flat out loses. Now, I have queen h8 check, king f7, but I don't have the finish there. So it was just play rook to h3. Now the computer says I have a forced mate here that I'm missing somehow. Check, king f7. This is not a forced mate. I can't see it. Knight takes. I could play knight takes here as well. Knight takes to stop me from playing queen g6. I guess then I can play. I guess knight takes rook. He's running into the problem of g6. Or I could just check him and play g6. Probably that's the right move. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Keep it simple, stupid. Find the blunders, don't play them. I'm just winning this. I don't care if it's checkmate or I win gratuitous material. It's a blitz game. I'm not looking for an artistic masterpiece. I'm looking to execute the win. So he did this, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is just absolutely getting crushed. And this thing bar says, 8.3? It's craziness. But this is just a checkmate. Discovered check from the queen. He can go king to e7. That doesn't help. I mean, everything that he does loses. But I guess king to e7, knight to g6 check, king to d8, he can somewhat run. Okay. He took it. Well, that's just a ladder checkmate. Queen h8 check, king to the 7th rank. I don't even care where he goes. Rook to the 7th rank, and it's goodbye, Charlie. So this is just, and now it says mate in 2 because this is what happened. He's got one move, king to g6. You can see this. You don't have to really plan this out. It's just another easy checkmate. I have two different checkmates. Queen g7 or queen g8. Both of these are checkmate. There's nothing he could do. And the whole thing there was, took almost no time. But the fun part was playing bishop takes h7 check. Because, like I said, it has all the elements that you need to play the sacrifice. Now, things you can't do here, queen h5, he'll play g6. I mean, you could technically do some of this, I guess. Queen h5, g6, queen to h6. You are definitely winning this. Okay, let's see what the computer says. You could also play f5, to be honest, to block. And this was looking like the move. You can play this, which gets annoying because you can't play, well, you don't want to play g takes f6 because he plays knight takes f6. he wants to have his knight here defending, and that is because this knight is the best piece to defend the king from the f6 for black or f3 for white on the kingside castling. So it's one of those things that you have to take the plunge, or you don't take the plunge, whatever floats your boat. But in a blitz game, it doesn't really mean anything. You're playing, these games are practice games, really. You're playing to execute stuff like this. And if you fail, you want to learn why you failed. That way you didn't lose the game. If you lose the game, you don't lose the lesson. You get the lesson. Either this works, because it should work. You have all the things. The knight is actually better than normal. In the normal Greek gift, it's on f3 and you have to move knight to g5. It's already up front. We have unfettered access to h5. So this is something this is better than the normal bishop takes h7 sacrifice from like a French defense. Okay. So this is the thing. Take the plunge. Don't be afraid. The worst thing you can do for your own growth is to be timid in a practice game. A blitz game doesn't mean anything beyond learning your limitations, your abilities against other players of relatively similar rating ability. So don't take it too seriously. You lose the game, yeah, so what? If you learn something, every loss is valuable. The only way a loss is just completely worthless is if you learn nothing from the loss. Okay? My dad said, chess is a game of mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. Hikaru made a mistake the other day. Magnus makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Okay? That's the nature of the game of chess. And so you don't worry about it. All right? So hopefully you enjoyed this. It was pretty instructive to give you the Greek gift sacrifice that occurred in an actual live blitz game. But, it was an actual game against an actual opponent. Caught him off guard because he may have missed the elements, and due to the formation, slightly different, but really not that different. All the hallmarks are here. Bishop on the correct diagonal. Queen gets access to h5. Man, and this rook is better than normal. I get to play rook f3 and h3. It's just game over. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching the video. Tell your friends if you would. I'll see you guys later. Thanks again.